Hello and welcome to Mountain Patriot Homestead. Today we are going to be doing a recipe that was not so recently ago requested by a subscriber, and Cheryl, I am finally getting around to your request. Cheryl Self 1636 requested a tea cake recipe. Well, I do have one that was passed along to me from my mom that was not an old family recipe, but it was a neighbor's old family recipe. So this is Granny McNeil's tea cakes, and I'm going to be sharing the recipe with you today. Crack 3 room temperature eggs into a mixing bowl and whisk them until they're well blended. To that, you're going to add 3 cups of granulated sugar. Mix the eggs and sugar together until they're well incorporated. Add 1 cup of buttermilk and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Again, mix these ingredients well. Place in 1 cup of vegetable shortening, or you could use coconut oil. At this point, I got out the hand mixer rather than trying to mix it with my whisk. And if you have a stand mixer, that works very well in this recipe also. Once it's mixed well, it's time for your final ingredients. It's a ½ teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. The last ingredient to go in will be your flour. Now, depending on the flour you use and what type of dough you want to create, whether you want a rolled dough or whether you want to do it like I did and make drop cookies, that is going to determine how much flour you use. And pretty much I go by a method of just the way it looks and feels. In my particular recipe today, I used approximately 8½ cups of flour. It may differ for your recipe, especially if you're going to roll and cut them. I got the dough to the consistency that I wanted. Then I took out my baking sheet with a silicone mat and just used a melon baller to put balls of dough onto the sheet. I later used my hands and made them a little more round. And finally, I took a glass and dipped it in sugar, the bottom of it in sugar, and just kind of flattened them a little bit, kind of like you would do sugar cookies or peanut butter cookies, and just made them the way I wanted to. If you want to make your dough stiffer and roll them and cut them, you can do that. These I baked at 350 degrees for 12 to 14 minutes. Depending on your oven, you may have to adjust that cooking time because you want them to come out of the oven kind of pale. You want the bottoms very light because these are tea cakes. They're not meant to be a dry, crisp cookie. Well, I have finished up this batch of tea cakes, and I just wanted to show you one as a final result. I know there was a lot of sugar at the beginning. There's 3 cups of sugar in this recipe, and I know that just horrifies some folks, but this is not something you're going to just sit down and eat all of, because look at the size of these. This is my hand. This is the size of this tea cake, and I got 52 of this size out of that. So if you made them smaller, you could get a lot more. You could make them larger. You could use different extracts. If you prefer a little lemon flavor, you could use lemon instead of the vanilla, almond, whatever's your favorite extract you could use in this. But anyway, let me just show you. This is actually the name is tea cake. See that? Can you see how they're real soft. You don't want to over bake them because then they're going to be dry. And who wants a dry tea cake? Very soft. That wonderful flavor of vanilla is in there. I tell you, I went by Granny McNeil's recipe except for the rolling and cutting. But if you wanted to use like a butter flavor vegetable shortening, you could certainly do that as well. You could use butter. Now, if you use butter, it's going to be a little more flat and more dense. But, I'm sure that the original recipes for tea cakes did not use Crisco because it probably was not around when it was first created. So, anyway, I know my husband is going to like these. He loves sugar cookies, and they're a lot like a soft sugar cookie. So, if you like sugar cookies, give these a try. If you like this video, please give it a like, comment down below. I love hearing from y'all. I'm going to get out of here, but I love y'all. Have a great day. See you later. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.